welcome to the second episode of Clint Speaks. I'm your host, Clinton White. Um, I came to you on yesterday and spoke about the things I went through in my past, um, and how things turned around for me, after 10 years, and in within that 10 years, staying with my parents for 5 years, going through separation and divorce. I went over that in the first episode. And now I want to talk about something a little bit different. Hopefully, something on a little more brighter note. I remember a friend of mine told me some of the things that I mentioned I went through when I gave my entire story testimony. I went into deep detail. He said it was kind of rough. So I kind of want to lighten up the load a little bit with this second episode of Clint Speaks. Um, I want to talk about something that is very passionate within my passion, and that is your gifts, your talents, and your passion. Um, I alluded to something in my first episode where I spoke about how I was lost at one time. And I'm going to jump back on that and then I'm going to bring you up to speed. So, um, going back to my childhood, you will notice in my podcast. So again, this is just a second episode, but you'll notice in my podcast how I would never be the one that says I had a rough childhood. I'm not gonna give you this sob story. And I'm not saying everybody that does it is, not being honest about their childhood, but it's just weird to me that everybody that has a story, it was just rough from the beginning. And when they show pictures of them playing basketball in their neighborhood, it was always the worst court with the worst set of nets on the goal. And, I don't have, I'm not going to give you that, but I'm going to give you the honest truth. Now, it wasn't always peaches and cream, but I will say I had a glorious childhood. I had a good childhood. Not saying I didn't have any rough patches, and I'm pretty sure some of you all did too. But I can't give you that story in totality. However, I will say that I did have some down moments. Let's start here. In my childhood, two-parent home. I was the only child for 10 years. And even before my brother was born, 10 years after I was, I took a liking to basketball. Again, wanted to be like my father. Um, he played ball, not college or NBA, local. That was good enough for me. I just admired who he was and still do to this day. So going going further, took a liking to basketball and played for church teams, and from there, got cut the first time I went out for the junior high team. No biggie. I had a little size to me. What I mean, I'm not talking about muscle, but I was ashamed of my build, and that affected my trial. So that was on me. I'm not blaming anybody but myself. And you'll notice I'll do that as well throughout my podcast. I'm not one to point fingers at anybody else for any failures I have. So going further, um, the next year, I promised to come back better, forget how I looked. I'm going after it. And I made the junior high team. And from there, the high school team. And my coach, who is still living to this day, Coach Jones, I went to Tresman High School here in Memphis. And he had me playing like three or four different positions. I was never a point guard. Right now I'm 6'1". I think I was 6'1" in high school. So I had, for the position I was playing at that time, I had an okay height on me. Long arms, about three or four different positions, anything from two guard. He had me spotting up because I had a jump shot to this day. I'll be 47 in, may as well say, 4 days. And still to this day, I have that jump shot. I'm known for that here in Memphis. And hey, basketball career is going good in high school, going okay. Again, not a top scorer. Um, I really didn't know what I possessed until years later when I became, a full grown adult. And either way, I was so crazy about basketball that I said I wanted to die on the court, and that was before I knew and understood, how powerful words were. And I changed that. I said, no, I'm not dying on the court. I'm going to die a peaceful death, God's way. But either way, um, going through high school, telling my parents, my mom, just like every other basketball player, I'm going to buy you the house with a nice car. We're going to be rich because I'm going to play in the NBA. And I saw how my career had started going in high school. And just, I'm not going to say I gave up, but it was kind of like, man, I don't think I'm going anywhere. And every now and then it was like I was shown, God would show me, hey, your game is better than what you think it is. And I've always been told that I'm one that's real hard on myself. So to keep going, I got invited to citywide 3-point contest here in Memphis. Now, this is after the season is over with. Everybody's done. I'm ready to graduate and get this call. And I think it was after I graduated, if I'm not mistaken. And just showing me glimpses of who I really was. And then was walking in the mall and I saw a group of guys. I went to Tresvent. They went to East High School, and they said, "Hey, from the other side of the aisle." And I'm like, "Hey, what's up, man? What's going on?" They was like, they didn't know my name. It was like, "You the dude to shoot all them threes, right?" Like, yeah, yeah, I'm a 3-point shooter, man. I remember y'all from East, right? Yeah, yeah. Where you go, man? In other words, what college did I go to? Didn't go to any college, man. It was like, you serious? You didn't get a scholarship? I was, no, I ain't get a scholarship. Scholarship. Man, we had people on the bench that got scholarships that didn't even play. I'm in the mall like, are you serious? And I'm sitting at a Grizzlies game one time, and my pastor at the time, I still call him my pastor. We're just sitting there, halftime, quiet, nobody's doing nothing. We're just sitting there. And he said, Clint, as the Lord liveth, this is what you were supposed to be doing. And I teared up where he couldn't see me. But I said all that to say this. When I realized I wasn't going to play ball, oh, and forgot to tell you, I actually went to a college tryout, basketball tryout, Bethel LaBelle College in McKenzie, Tennessee, one Saturday morning. And I basically made the team. Now, mind you, I'm 6'1", and the other guys that was already on the team, 6'10", 6'11", 6'8". I mean, I think the point guard was like 6'5", and they're coming down shooting trays. I'm coming right back. And that Saturday, it just so happened, I think we played 2 or 3 games, full court. And I may have missed 3 shots the entire Saturday. I couldn't miss. And the coach's son, who was he's just a little boy, he said, Dad, I like him. And the coach pulled me to the side after one of the games. He said, son, I really like you. He said, but to be honest with you, we don't have any scholarships. So can you afford to be here? I was like, man, I can't. And but that instead of that making me feel bad, I felt good. I made a college team. But the story I told you with my pastor, that happened afterwards, of course. Now, after that happened, I'm lost. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm grown. I'm too old to play in the NBA. What am I gonna do now? Because that was my passion. And I know some of you all may have this similar story, not as far as basketball, but in life, in other arenas of your life. You may be lost right now. You don't know what to do. One thing that you thought you liked, or you probably never even had a passion that you know of, but one thing you thought you were passionate about, it may not have worked out. Or that may not have been the niche for you or the passion for you. You may not have been as passionate as you thought you were. And you may be just lost out there right now. You're not by yourself. You're not the only one that's gone through that. And that's not the cure. I'm going to keep going. I've been there. And I know that may not do you any good to know that I've been there. Then again, it may, because a lot of times when we go through things, we think we're the only ones that's going through it or have gone through it. And it feels lonely out there. No, you're not alone. You're not alone. Again, in my first episode, this is why I'm here. It is not for money. I'll take that too. I would be crazy not to, but that's not why I'm here. So I'm lost. I don't know what to do. So I consider myself like a lot of Americans. I'm just a regular old Joe now. I'm just going from job to job, trying to hold on to a job because I have a family. And that's, hey, all else fails. That's what men are supposed to do. That's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to take care of our home, our children, our wives. Uh, so I'm living an okay life, but I'm frustrated because I know it could have been a thousand, a million times better, literally. And nobody is offering anything. I don't know who to talk to. I don't know what to do. Um, so I'm going on through life, and every now and then somebody will ask me to say something. Hey, you have the finishing words, or you close us out, or um, we want to get you to elaborate on this subject. You speak for your group. I mean, we'll be at work in supervisor meetings and manager trainings, and I'm sitting at a table with my peers, and everybody else sitting at a table with their peers. We have round table break off sessions, and every now and then they just, hey, Clint, we want you to speak for our group. And I'm like, why me? Like, I'm not a speaker. Well, I didn't know I was. And I remember selling Aflac here in Memphis. I was the Aflac guy. And this one teacher said, hey, I need to ask you a question. I'm like, sure, man. He said, can I get you to speak to my class? And I'm like, out of the blue, I'm an insurance agent. What is, I'm saying this to myself, but I'm like, the words, of course, is yeah, I'm not going to turn it down. Like, I don't mind because I love, students. I love people. Crazy about the youth, man. They're our future. So he calls me back a few days later, and I'm thinking he's calling me because he said it's been a change of plans. And I'm thinking, hey, he's called it off. So I'm like, "Phew, okay, good. He said, no, I want you to, can you speak to the whole school? And now it's like, of course, yes, come out of my mouth, but I'm like, you mean 12th graders and every, because I know how they are. In this day and age, they're known to be disrespectful, and I'm just not for that. But I say, yes, I'll do it because, again, mind you, I love the youth. And I'm still wondering why is he to this day, I never found out. And that was over 10 years ago, well over 10 years ago. And now, mind you, I've been speaking in churches, I've been, speaking here and there, and got in front of the school. And this is what I was led to speak about: gifts, talents, passions. I'm very passionate about that. And lo and behold, after I spoke at that high school, and I'm talking hundreds of students, this, mind you, 10 years ago, text messaging was in, emailing was in, the digital age was in, and they didn't chose to do any of that. They chose to write me handwritten letters thanking me for coming, and I cannot tell you how many. I couldn't count how many letters stated that I was the best speaker they had. I was the most fun speaker they had. And that did something to me. And I realized then I got a gift. I'm talented at this. Nothing was written down. I didn't stand behind a podium. I danced with them. I talk with them just like I'm talking now, a cappella. I don't have any notes in front of me. It's no brag. So I said that to say this: there is something, if you, even if you have to go back to your childhood, there's something that you're passionate about, something that you love to do, and you do that very well, even without getting paid. That thing that you'll do without getting paid, but you can get paid. That's a gift. That's something that you're passionate about. You have to own it. You have to work on it. To give you an example, some people say, well, if it's my gift, if I'm passionate about it, why do I have to work on it? It should come natural. I'm not saying it wouldn't, but prime example. Again, I have a basketball mind. I still to this day play ball. Michael Jordan, everybody knows who he is. One of the most gifted, hard working athletes ever. Not just basketball, athletes ever. He had a gift. Even he got cut. He had to work on his skill. And Phil Jackson, who was his coach, said that he would just work himself to a lather. Kobe Bryant was another one. LeBron James spends $1 million or more on his body a year to keep himself healthy throughout the season. They have to work. There are people who are gifted at business that don't sit down all day, every day. They don't do that. As a matter of fact, some of them work harder at being businessmen and businesswomen than they did working a job, if they ever had to, if they ever did, rather. You have to work on that. But find that thing. Some of y'all are lost right now. I don't know what I like to do. Go back to your childhood. Go back into the past and think on the thing that you love to do. And you never even thought about it as being your passion. Think about that one thing. If you were to leave Earth right now, if there was a such thing as what I'm about to tell you, let's say you took your last breath, and we're not speaking that on nobody, but let's say you took your last breath and you were asked, what is that thing that you love to do that you wish you could have done and should have done, but you didn't do it? Just one thing to earn a living. What would it have been? If you think about it, some of you all can sew like nobody else. But you may be worried about somebody laughing at what you come up with. That's okay. There are designers right now making a huge living selling $100 designer jeans. You're going to get laughed at. People are going to point fingers at you. And as a matter of fact, none of them are people that you don't know. It's going to be family members. It's going to be friends. It's going to be laughing at you to your face, laughing secretly behind you. They may laugh a certain laugh that's like, hey, I'm just playing, man. I'm just playing, girl. No, no. That's okay. You're going to get laughed at. People are going to doubt you. People are going to look at you like you're crazy. As a matter of fact, I remember a story of a successful attorney. His father was an attorney. His uncle was an attorney. His brothers were attorneys. They had an attorney family. So he just followed suit. But his passion was Legos, the toy Lego. And he quit being an attorney to build Legos. A very successful attorney. We're not just talking six figures a year, very successful. But that's what he loved to do. Of course, his family didn't own him for a while, but that was okay. He was at peace. And that's another thing that when you look at it, it should bring you peace. Right now, what I'm doing right now, I am at peace. I have a smile on my face as wide as my living room right now because I'm doing what I love to do. Again, everybody may not like Clint Speaks, and that's fine. I'm just trying to reach those that is for me to reach. But it's that thing, that one thing that you love to do. Everybody is not meant to play basketball. Everybody's not meant to play sports, period. Some of you may be good at singing, some dancing, some sewing, some repairing, some building, just the thing that you love to do. Some of you can bake better than anybody in your family, in your neighborhood. Some have a secret recipe even to wings. Well, everybody in Memphis has a wing shop. I'm using this as an example. That's okay. What does that mean? They haven't tasted yours yet. There are plenty of people who got designs for jeans and shirts. That's okay. They haven't seen yours yet. Well, there are builders everywhere. That's okay. There's still room for you. What if you just like to put makeup on people for acting? What if you could act? What if you had an inventive mind where every time you look around, God is just giving you ideas? We're not even just talking about multi-million. What about just the idea itself? What if somebody paid you $100,000 every quarter for your? What if they paid you $100,000 a year for your idea? Is is it worth you looking into? Yeah. What if you just had a business mind and every time you look around, businesses are just coming to you? There are things that hit me like that. I'm just saying you have passion. What if you're passionate about children? Start your home daycare. What if you're passionate about teaching? You don't always have to succumb to a school building. You can do that from the comfort of your home, or even right now, with the way the technology is, you can do that on Zoom after school. If you just love to tutor, what if you just came up with your own tutoring service? Whatever you're passionate about, playing the drums. What if it's just window cleaning? And it may sound stupid. Some people take passion in killing insects in people's homes. Some people take passion as far as cutting yards, fertilizing yards. Work for True Green, and a recruiter for True Green, as a matter of fact. And what I do is I actually interview people for the lawn specialist position. There are plenty of people that say, "Hey, man, I understand the pay. It may not be what it should be, but I love to be outside in the grass." I remember years back when Blockbuster Video was the thing. Before Hollywood Video came out, Blockbuster was huge here in Memphis, and I'm pretty sure everywhere else. And I remember this guy, and please do not get offended by how I describe him, but this is just the best way I can. He was a guy that had long hair. He always had it in a rubber band, ponytail, glasses, thick glasses. Um, wasn't always the best shave. He didn't always dress professionally. He had his Blockbuster shirt hanging out of his pants, but that didn't matter. That dude could tell you if you walk in the store and say, "Hey, I'm looking for this video or this movie," he could direct you straight to it. And you could see it in his eyes and you can hear it in his voice. He was passionate about Blockbuster. He could tell you to go any aisle. He could just point you at, and if he didn't have a line of customers, oh, he'll walk you over there. If it was a movie he didn't hear of, if you could just describe it to him, oh, he could lead you straight to that section. Hey, we're gonna find it. And he was passionate about it. And I'm pretty sure back then he probably wasn't even making $10 an hour. But he was passionate because your passion is not always about riches. It's about peace. It's about what you love to do. So there's something that's in you. Everybody has a gift. Everybody has a talent. I don't know what you've been through. You can't see me. I can't see you. I don't know how many listeners is I'm gonna touch with this or reach with this. I don't know what you've been through. Some of you may say, "I have been through things, Clint, that I can't tell anybody." I understand. I understand. But the good part about it is you are giving a listening ear. You're still here. While you're here, go ahead and go for your passion. We're going to deal with that thing that's bothering you, that's plaguing you, that you can't talk about. We're going to deal with that. But just tonight, I just felt led just to speak to the audience and let them know, hey, your gift will make room for you. Well, Clint, I'm not a believer in the Bible. I'm not a Christian. I understand all of that. I understand all of that. But the statement is still true. And I'll tell you how. Let me give you the perfect example. Again, let's go back to Michael Jordan because everybody knows who he is. As a matter of fact, if I'm talking too much about basketball, let's use Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was one of the most gifted, not just entertainers, but just dancing, man, singing, all of it put together. Yes, man, the Jacksons were, man, all of that. And it was only right for Michael to take the lead, man. That dude was something else. But if you look at it, we're talking about entertaining, we're talking about dancing. And not was it it wasn't left at dancing. Michael Jackson had Pepsi commercials. The gift was dancing, but the room that it made, hey, Pepsi, he got endorsements. Not only that, he was owning masters. He was actually writing for other. His gift made room for him. Now, the original meaning of that was basically, hey, if you come in the presence of a king, Don't come empty handed. Bring a gift to the king. Bless the king. And you may be wondering, well, how's that making room for it? Well, think about it. If you bring me a gift and I wasn't even expecting a gift, or even if I was, you bring me a gift and I don't know you. Who are you? Hey, I'm Travis, or I'm Michael. I'm Billy. Hey, Billy, I appreciate this. Hey, fellas. Hey, everybody. Hey, look what Billy brought me. Look what Travis brought me. Hey, that's nice. Hey, Travis. Hey, as a matter of fact, come up here and sit with us. Let me introduce you to my friend. Well, your gift just made room for you. It's the same way with Michael Jackson, the same way with Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan played ball. Michael Jordan had a shoe contract. LeBron James. Look at just look at that. I mean, just look at how that plays into everything. Look at Tom Brady. Plays football. The gift is football, quarterbacking, throwing a football and being accurate at it, making quick decisions and winning championships doing it. And he has cell phone commercials. I'm just saying that it's making room for your gift will make room for you. That is your way out. And to somebody that's listening, that is the way out from your job that you don't want to be on. This is my way out. There's always an escape to where you don't want to be. Your gift, your talent, your passion is that escape. Do it on the side for right now. Don't worry about the money, it's going to come. But the main thing is you're going to be at peace doing it. Go for your gift, unwrap the gift, bring it before the king, and bring it before the kings on this earth as well. You never know, your gift is going to take you places that you only could imagine. Your job was not going to take you there. And yes, let me go on the other side of what I've been talking about. For some of these gifts, passions, and talents, yeah, it's going to bring you a lot of money for some of us. So dive into it, ponder on that thing. What is it that I used to love to do? What is it that I like to do now? And I just never gave it much attention. What is it that I like to do now? And I'm scared to do. Go anyway. Do it scared. Do it full of fear. Go ahead and do it. I jumped on this podcast not knowing how things are going to turn out, not worried about how it's going to turn out. My goal is to reach one person at least. Of course, many as I can, but if I only reach one that'll give me ear, at least I reach that one. But my faith is saying I'm going to reach millions because somebody needs to hear what Clint is speaking. Again, go for your gift. Bring out your talents. Walk in your passion. This is Clint Speaks, second episode. You all have a great night. Thank you.